Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Zojalix, and I'm going to be doing a commentated speedrun for Star Wars: The Force Unleashed to any percent, because I realized there was not a single commentated speedrun out there with the updated strats. Because there have been a lot of new strats that have been found, and I want to do just a commentated speedrun to help kind of explain how these strats work, as well as use them for marathon submissions. So one quick thing to know about this run before we get it started is we took out all of the cutscenes in the run, in the game, and that is for the sole purpose of it helps prevent crashes. We do run the game on a loadless timer, so it doesn't affect the actual loading of the game. It just affects RTA, makes RTA faster, and it helps to prevent the game from crashing, which again makes more runs a lot more viable. So yeah, that'll be that. We're gonna go ahead and get started here in 3, 2, 1, go. That is when RTA would start, but we're going to be setting up our loadless timer. Perfect. Yeah, so now the loadless timer is going. The timing would technically start when we get out of this loading screen. So what we're going to be doing to start off here is doing our wonderful rule of 3. We're going to be doing 3 slashes here against these guys, then 3 force pushes, and then 3 force lightning. Which, then we're just going to kill everything and that ends the tutorial. And we have a quick little cutscene here. Well, not really quick little, but we've got a cutscene, and while we're doing the cutscene, I'm going to be just explaining about the movement in this game because it's fairly complex, and it would just be easier to explain it when I don't have to be playing at the same time. So as you can see down at the bottom, I have an input capture. That will help to explain it. So when I hit left bumper here, as you can see I'm hitting on the input display, that is our force dash. And at the end of every single force dash animation, there is sort of this animation where Starkiller stops moving. And that animation lasts for about a second. And it's like, okay, well, yes, that's still faster than just doing our regular run. Is there a way we can make that even faster? So we started experimenting. Well, the community started, before I came in, started experimenting with different things. And they found that if you jump right after you hit your dash button, you can then dash immediately after and cancel that animation. You'll be seeing me do this a lot on the input capture throughout the entire run. So that is what I will be referring to as dash canceling, the movement in the game. It is like extremely, extremely important in order to fully optimize your movement. So for this first segment here, we have falling, and it's pretty simple. We're just gonna hug the right and then mash left bumper, because what that does is that uses an ability that we have called Dash and Blast. And you'll see, well, it like uses force dash, but because we're in the specific falling section, it uses Dash and Blast. And that's what that little like force circle that you can kind of see around Starkiller is. That's him like surrounding himself in the force, allowing us to break through things without getting hit. Sometimes you still get hit by things anyways, but for the most part, that's just an auto-scroller. So now we're in the start of the first level, Camino Escape, and we're just going to be starting off here, killing these guys. We're going to wait a little bit, because you're going to wait for the game to register that everything is dead, and then we can get started. And now we're going to begin our dash canceling, and we're going to come over here. That skips a small cutscene, saving a little bit of time. And then we're gonna kill these guys. That's gonna make this door go. Over here, this is where the game is like, hey, you should use your force grip. And we're like, nah, we're good. We'll just skip that. Saving a couple more seconds there. So Riot Troopers here, they block lightsaber attacks really well, so we just decide, no, we don't actually care about their lightsaber blocking ability, and just get rid of their lightsaber blocking ability by picking them up and throwing them off the ledge. Super simple to deal with them there. And then, as you can see, I use my dashing blast every time I go to like hit those small cutscenes, because that just inches me forward just a couple extra feet. And we're gonna kill more guys here. Stop these fans, and we're coming up into our first skip here. The first skip of the game. And I'm gonna start explaining it now. Well, that was weird. And what the first skip of the game is going to be looking like is there's going to be this turret that you will see. And when we hit that turret, we're going to have to... when we hit the turret, we're going to jump over, dash and blast onto the turret, and then jump up onto the other side of these shields or onto an invisible wall, but the invisible wall is significantly more precise. When we hit said... here, I'm going to kind of focus so that we can kind of see how I get to the point where I can talk again. Okay, so we made it over, and then we're going to be damage boosting here. So what happens is when we hit the ray shield, it gives us enough damage that we can keep jumping, allowing us to keep going. And then we're going to go right into another skip. We're going to jump up on these boxes here. 3/ combo to go up onto this gunship. And this gunship is going to take us out of bounds. Like, quite a ways out of bounds. Then we're going to come over here. Land, hit this checkpoint. And fall off. Putting us right here, skipping quite a bit of stuff. And then we're going to hit that checkpoint and reload the checkpoint. Because what reloading the checkpoint will do is it sets us up to... because there are these AT-STs that are supposed to be spawned, but they're not because we did not put them in the right spot. We did not get there when the game wanted us to get there. And so the AT-STs are here now. We reload the checkpoint to respawn them. And then we can then use our little Force Rage tutorial, which basically just is like, hey, here's a super ridiculously overpowered ability that you get. Which, it's not really that overpowered because you can only use it for a limited amount of time. But once we get it, we're just going to go Force Lightning all these enemies. And that will now end the level. That is also the first time I have ever gotten that skip in a run. So that's like insane. I've ever gotten that TIE Fighter skip like that in a run. So that's pretty incredible. So we finished Camino Escape. And with Camino Escape, we are now on... Well, yeah, that finishes that. And now we're on to Cato Nemoida, the Eastern Arc. With Cato Nemoida, the Eastern Arc, we are going to be, first of all, damage boosting using this Walker's missiles to get us over this bridge. And then using Force Lightning here just to kill this Walker really quickly. Normally, the game would want you to sit and, like, Force Reflect the missiles, but we're just like, nah, we're good. And then there are these Sith Acolytes who we can't pick up and throw with our Force powers. So we're just going to grapple them, or they're going to be weird, so then we're just going to chuck them off after. I don't know, it just, the game kind of behaves a little weird with them. So we're going to do another damage boost skip here. Oh, right, going to get up, so... So one thing you have noticed me doing is I do the 2-strike combo, and then I use Force Lightning to help suspend myself in the air. That just helps to keep me in the air while waiting for the enemies to do what they need to do, for the enemies to hit me. And then here we're just gonna do a little small jump thing there to get us across. Go past that shield because we don't care about it. So while the first level, you kind of got a little bit of a glimpse of the damage boosting, you're going to be seeing it a lot because there are a lot of shields here. And rather than like actually deal with them the game wants us to, it's faster to just damage boost around them. So we're going to be doing that. So another fun, unique thing about this game, specifically on the PC version, is sometimes we go so fast that enemies just don't spawn. And while a lot of times it's really nice, there are some areas where enemies have to spawn in order to progress. And so if they're not spawned, we essentially soft lock the game. So when we get to certain checkpoints, you'll see me reload them, and that's for the sole purpose of making sure that enemies do spawn when they're supposed to. And then here we have to kill just these walkers in order to advance, which is a little interesting. So walkers are dead, and we'll go ahead and switch to our switch costumes again, just to put us. Holy cow, that's an insane pace. I'm not going to worry about that. Actually, I might. We'll put that up. I don't really care. This isn't a reset run anyways. Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna switch back because for some reason after we kill the walker, we load the cutscene and it makes this elevator active, even though it probably shouldn't be, but it's fine. So now we're here. We're in our first dashing segment. There normally would be one in Camino Escape, but we skipped it. And basically what it is it's just the game is like you need to use your dash ability. Grab that force back to tank. That just increases our force. It's not really all that. It's not really like important and necessary. It's there, so might as well just grab it. Okay, and now we're coming up onto our next out of bounds trick called Casino Skip. And I'm gonna focus here. Cool. Okay, so now that we're out of bounds, we're gonna be maneuvering just a little bit and then falling. And then put ourselves. Where's the check? Below. And we messed it up. Okay. So yeah, what we have to do is we have to get out of bounds and then we have to maneuver ourselves in a specific way to then find the checkpoint. And I didn't find it. Unless I did and didn't see, but... Okay, we didn't get the checkpoint. I didn't think so. It's unfortunate. There we go. Okay, so we're going to be losing a decent chunk of time there. That's... So here we've got these guys. They're gonna come here, and then this carbonite droid is gonna freeze the wall, which we're Jedi, so like it doesn't really matter. The biggest struggle is the carbonite droid is probably gonna get in our way, which he didn't. Okay. Then we got our next dashing section. We're just going to dash up here and then enter our tram ride. The tram ride itself is basically an auto-scroller. There's going to be these TIE fighters, but we can just mash lightning and they all die. They die pretty quickly. And so now we've got our boss here. And the boss is not a big deal. He's just going to be throwing missiles at us, and we're going to use our force reflect on them. And then that'll be the end of the level. Okay, so now we're entering the Western Arc. The Western Arc is one of the shorter levels in the run. And we're just going to be coming over here, grabbing this holocron, which is going to let us to upgrade Saber Throw. That's the first ability we're going to be upgrading in this run. And that will come in handy after this level. And then we're just going to come over here and use these snipers here for another damage boost skip. Which that skips a good chunk of the level. And then we're going to come over this way. Do now damage boost on these shields. Oh, okay. Now we're gonna do our next out of bounds trick. I'm gonna be kind of focusing here, but my goal is I'm gonna reload the checkpoint to allow me to then jump up onto the gunship and get myself out of bounds. Cool. So now we got here onto this gunship, and this is gonna carry us kind of out of bounds. Well, I mean, it will be out of bounds. But we're carrying us to that checkpoint, and then we're going to reload our flight suit, change our costume to reload the checkpoint, and then put us at the boss fight. Which, not really a boss fight, but kind of a boss fight. I don't know. It's hard to explain. We're going to throw our lightsabers here, and then we're going to shoot missiles, and we're going to try and use our Force Grip to do as much damage to it as we can. I keep, like, glancing over my input display. Oh, we missed one throw, but that's fine. Two throws. Gonna throw him. That'll end this fight. And then here, we can actually just speed up this little, like, elevator climb by jumping. Because the head for our hitbox, the head will hit the hitbox faster. Wow, that was an insane Western arc. I didn't think I was gonna gold that. Okay. I knew I was gonna be saving a lot of time, but I didn't think I was gonna gold. But yeah, the hitbox hits the loading zone for the next level, and then we're like good to go. Alright, so what we've got going on here for this fight is we got the Gorog. We're going to be spamming lightning against him to do a lot of damage, and then activating this quick time event. And then we're going to mash, force push to push his manacles back to where they need to go. And then, yeah, just taking all this opportunity to force all the things that we can to then activate QuickTime events, which is then gonna, and that's pretty much the basis of this entire first phase of this fight. And then we're gonna activate this QuickTime event, which is not really a QuickTime event. It's just basically hit the buttons at the right time, but I mash just to make sure that I hit them as quickly as possible. And by doing this event, QuickTime event, it does a lot of damage to him, and then we rinse and repeat, and then we do another QuickTime event to end the fight. So one interesting thing about this game too is with these QuickTime events, the game tells you to hold right trigger, but as you can see in my input display, I'm not doing that. And so the game is just like, we told you to hold right trigger, but really it's just kind of a suggestion. Alright, so now that we've eliminated that layer of health, don't worry, we're not rinsing and repeating this for all of his layers of health. We're just going to be now completing these QuickTime events here to then finish the fight. So the second phase of this fight, this is where the saber throw upgrade comes in handy, and this is why we got it where we did. So what happens is we have these nice minute-long cutscene to then start this section, and basically what's going to be happening is where the Gorog is going to be making attacks against us, and with these attacks, it is going to be, we're going to jump up to try and use a little bit of an RNG manip. Well, not really manip, but basically if we get a certain kind of RNG, we can mitigate taking all of the damage. And then we just do our fully charged lightsaber throw. Oh, what? Oh, I'm an idiot. I got ahead of myself. I got ahead of myself there, lol. But yeah, we use our lightsaber throw, do a lot of damage to it to advance phases quickly. And we do this twice. And that will then set us up to finish this phase of the fight quickly. And then we use lightning so we can use lightning while our lightsabers are stuck at whatever we're throwing. And we do that a lot because that helps us to continue to do a lot of damage to whatever we're trying to do damage to. That finishes that. And while we're in this cutscene, we can actually do some movement. And I fell through the tiniest gap in the thing. And that's where that movement is extremely risky, but I like to go for it because I'm ridiculous. But it ended up just making me lose a couple more seconds. Oh, that was weird. Wow, I thought I died again there, but the cutscene activated. And then we're gonna go into our next falling section. We love those. But yeah, we're just gonna be mashing through here. Wait, I didn't get the funky camera? What? I have never not gotten the funky camera there. Not in like almost a year. So yeah, that's pretty much what the rest of this level is then, is dashing, throwing our lightsaber, alternating between throwing our lightsabers and using force lightning and avoiding getting hit by the Gorog. It's very riveting gameplay. So now that we've beaten it, we're going to mash through another QuickTime event. And it's really hard to mash Xbox controllers with one hand, or with two hands. But I try to mash with two hands to make it go faster than I would with one, but on the input capture, it doesn't look like it really makes too much of a difference. I don't know. So we're in the hardest level of the game now. We are in Dagobah, and the reason why it's the hardest level is because it's actually not the hardest level, except for when you get stuck on rocks there. Oh. That's it. That's Dagobah. Oh, I saved time. LOL. So yeah, all we have to do is grab a couple of holocrons to get us 10,000 EXP, and then we keep going.
The Alliance leadership can't agree on our next move. We don't have the firepower to take out a meaningful Imperial target. But nobody wants to risk lives making small hit-and-run attacks.
Oh yeah.
Juno.
This was insane. My PB.
Better that she sees you first, knows that you're really back.
Still don't believe that I'm...
Okay, so now we're on to the level is known as Abort the Salvation. Well, if this level is Abort the Salvation. And this is where the dash canceling is extraordinarily important. They're very, very, very movement. They're not as skip heavy as you've seen with the other levels, as the early levels, but they are basically pure movement. There are some small skips, and I'll be explaining them as we get to them. But for the most part, it is making sure that your dash canceling and your knowledge of the game is knowledge of the levels are really good. Because there just aren't the instances that would allow for damage boosting. Wow, that was awkward. As we've had before, but they still just it's really strong movement. So
Order the attack, General. Master. Be careful.
But yeah, we wrap up this cutscene.
What's the situation, General?
A bounty hunter is taking Juno to the hangar bay. We've lost all communication with that section of the ship.
Oh yeah, I have it covered.
It appears this
Oh
bounty
well.
hunter is
We're going to be coming up here into a small little tutorial to unlock our... Not really a tutorial, well, kind of a tutorial. We're going to be unlocking our last ability in the run for its repulse, and that will come in handy because we're going to be fighting these enemies called terror droids, and they're the worst. They always get, killed in one hit, but there's a lot of them, and they have this really annoying ability that will, it will be them picking you up, latching onto you like that, and then you have to flick the stick back and forth to get rid of them. But they're not really that important. So this is our little repulse tutorial. Normally what happens is it's like Starkiller getting a flashback, but we negate these flashbacks by removing the cutscenes.
General, I've seen these terror droids before. Vader's developing them on Camino. Warn your men.
Then just continuing to dash cancel. Here, when we enter this cutscene, we don't want to do our dashing blast because we're just going to be turning around right away. And so by dashing blast at extra feet, we're farther than we need to be. Oh, nice. And then here in this cutscene, we'll introduce Terror Troopers. Normally they would be the most annoying enemies in the game, but because we're going so fast, they shouldn't be spawning. If they do spawn, I'm going to be really confused. they didn't spawn as I expected. Okay, that was weird. And then to move this little generator here faster, we're force pushing it rather than picking it up and throwing it, because we can also move with it rather than just having to throw, move, throw, move, throw, move. And then we're going to force repulse this, because that will destroy everything in this room, and we don't have to do it after this cutscene. And then here, just going to open this door.
There's something there. Something big.
That's where I'm going.
We could have done this.
Oh. Over here, and we're going to skip a cutscene here by intentionally dying. And then just do some platforming here. And then we're going to come up to engine room skips. These are those small skips that were mentioned, that I talked about earlier in the level. So these shields here, yeah, we're just going to do that. We can just kind of inch our way through, and then this thing is spinning. We're just going to dash through it. Oh boy. And then here, we're going to actually wait for this cycle, because we want this upgrade holocron. And then just continuing to make our way through here. Sometimes this one likes to be annoying. And we have to wait for this cycle, because there's 4 of them. We will die if we were to try and skip that. Then here we got a pretty difficult jump here. We'll see if I can do it. And we got it. And we're going to ride this elevator up. And while we ride the elevator, we're just going to give us a saber upgrade. And we're going to come here to then end this split and go into our next boss fight, which is the Terror Walker. The Terror Walker is a really frustrating fight sometimes, because it's pretty RNG heavy. Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
The fleet will converge on Camino. But you know, Vader is luring you back to him.
Yes, I know, but he won't be expecting.
So yeah, that's the Terror Walker. Hopefully I do it right.
Prepare for light speed.
I'm going to start off here by changing our costume to the Dreaming Robes, and that will skip the cutscene that not the one that we just watched, obviously, but the next one that would be playing after the loading screen, because we hit a checkpoint. And so now we're here, and we're going to be starting off this by moving at a specific pace to try and manipulate the Terror Walker's position. We don't want him to be at the pylons that we're lifting. So we're trying to move at a specific pace, and we did get it. So that means we can just now go and lift this last one, and we actually want him to turn around when we get to this last one, because then he's as close to us as he can possibly be by the time his shield goes down. And so now that his shield is down, hopefully the boxes cooperate, but we're going to pick up the explosive box, throw it at him. That immediately knocks him down. And then we're going to be doing 3 strike combos and a lightning combo. And the reason why we do the lightning strike is it will extend the hitbox of our lightsaber swing, hitting things that are around us, so that way the other enemies can't interfere. Oh yeah, now we've got Terror Troopers, but we should theoretically be going so fast that they don't become an issue. There might be a minor annoyance, but because dash canceling, they're really not a big deal. Okay, so here's where the fight can get a little dicey again. Oh, that's Terror Troopers being Terror Troopers. Come on. Nice! That was kind of a good save. And we're just going to deplete its health. And then we're going to mount it. That was actually an insanely good fight. We're going to dash into the center pylon. And that will officially end the fight. And then we're just going to do a little bit of movement to get us into the next level. So we're going to be here. We're going to wait for this little helmet thing to drop. And we're going to use it. And then that ends the level. And now we're into Battle of the Salvation. Battle of the Salvation is another movement heavy level. We're actually going to be starting off with a pretty decent mob fight. And then once we finish up the mob fight, we will then go into the movement crazy segment of the level. So, and by mob fight, I mean we're going to be fighting a bunch of small enemies in order to progress. So we're going to be starting off here. We're going to deal with this guy, because he's the worst. Because he also they just don't want to die sometimes. And then we're going to use this explosive canister to miss, like, everything, apparently. It's fine. Him, cool. Chuck him. Pick this up, throw it way up into Timbuktu when I wanted to throw it at the ATSD, but that's fine. That did not hit anything at all that I wanted to. Oh, pick up the bomb. Why is that not dead? That was that has overall been pretty rough. But these parts are pretty much just RNG. There's not really much you can do to actually like be really good at it other than just hope that the enemies cooperate. And if the walkers shoot missiles, you would just be left into a world of sadness. Because Starkiller will always throw his lightsabers at whatever ranged object is on him. Like here, he's going to throw it at the bomb, even though we didn't want that.
You need to remove those boarding ships from the hangar doors.
Here, we just do that. That finishes that up.
Nice work. The hangar is clear. I'm lifting the lockdown. Now get up here to the bridge.
And now we're going to go and do another segment of engine room skips.
We have Imperial troops in the engine room. You need to clear them out before they disable the ship.
You can access the engine room through the drive core, Master. Look for a maintenance hatch in your vicinity.
And then here, we're going to kind of hug this like right side area, otherwise there will be a cutscene that would play. And we can skip the cutscene by just hugging more towards the right side. Go. And come over here to the engine room. once we're here in the engine room, we're going to be activating our Force Rage again, dashing, Force Repulse, land, and then we're going to be mashing Force Repulse. And that will end that fight. And that's actually a really interesting like way that fight works, because the as you can see, there's still enemies, because we killed a lot of the enemies faster than they normally spawn. And that's why that fight goes faster than it actually should, because we're deceiving the game into thinking that we've killed all of the enemies when we actually haven't. And then here, just doing some more platforming skips. Oh, I almost got knocked off the edge by that stormtrooper, but it's fine. And then here's a really funny instance where enemies are supposed to spawn, but they don't. And then just continuing to make our way through here. So again, nothing really too interesting happening right now other than just doing this optimized dash canceling. I made that extraordinarily scuffed, but it works. Here we're gonna lift this elevator, drop down, double jump into a dashing blast just to get us over there without falling.
Pessimism to proxy. The guns are online and we're still flying.
Not pessimism, General.
One pod in the gunnery, General. I'm on it.
Don't let them near the main cannon.
Prepare for Imperial assault.
I itched for a while. Yeah, this is honestly, it's a really easy, if you guys are like looking at this run and thinking, there's no way I can actually do some of this stuff. This run is actually pretty easy to get into. I was honestly really impressed with how easy this game was to learn. This is a game I've been running for a little over a year now. One of, if not my most favorite speed game. Oh, I didn't reload the cuts. The checkpoint. I'm dumb. Let's so focused on promoting the speedrun. Haha! So yeah, it's one of, if not like my favorite speedruns that I've ever done. And so like definitely something I recommend people getting into. It's overall it's a really fun run, because it's got a really good combination of good movement, of good combat strats, as well as just and then some really dope skips. And it's just super satisfying to do this run and do it well. So I highly recommend it. We have a Discord in case you guys are interested. I always am open to answering questions and helping people out. I would really love to see this game grow, because I feel like it has potential to be a really good speed game. So yeah, definitely feel free to hit us up on Discord. If you guys are curious, I am the world record holder of this game, with the time of 1:08:53, which could potentially change in this run. That would be ridiculous.
Great shot. Now get up here.
And just overall, I definitely recommend this game just to anybody who loves Star Wars, loves the Force Unleashed series, and just overall wants to continue like run a dope speed game. Gonna be force repulsing all these guys here. Yep, I was worried about that happening. So that can happen where the game will crash. And it really sucks because it's based on how many checkpoints that you activate. And since we activated quite a bit, since we had to reload checkpoints because of deaths that we took, we're going to have to redo that whole segment of repulsing the terror droids again because there isn't a checkpoint because it's the end of the level. So now we're going to be behind. Yeah, that's really unfortunate. But that's probably the most rough thing about this game is how often it can crash. Because in order to prevent a crash, because I've been able to get runs that haven't crashed, but it requires you to hit every single like skip first try. Because if you fail them, then you have to reload checkpoint.
Crew of the Salvation, we're going down! All hands abandon ship!
So yeah, we're going to be starting off here with a pretty hefty auto-scroller. We have these quick time events, and then it's a pretty hefty auto-scroller to get us to the end of the... get us to keep going.
Get out of there! You did it!
Because yeah, here, in this falling section, it doesn't matter how fast you go because you have to be... because the ship crashing is what determines your speed. So even if you get hit by things, you won't be losing time. Alright, so now we got a pretty tough skip coming up here. This is arguably the hardest skip in the game. And so what we're going to be doing is Starkiller's going to throw this TIE Fighter because Darth Vader kidnapped his waifu and he doesn't like that. And then with him throwing the TIE Fighter, we're going to land here. And then this small cutscene is going to play. We're going to run up there and we're going to mash the crap out of the A button to try and open the door before we get shot by the turrets. And we got it. Which, the more I think about it, the more I really just don't think this is the hardest skip in the game.
General, I'm making my way into the city. I have to find Juno.
We're not far from your location. We're coming in behind you.
Don't worry, this is totally normal.
Lock down all access points.
So now we've got a really tough, our last damage boosting strat in the game. We'll see if hopefully I can get it. I feel pretty confident, but we'll see what happens. Good, and we got one more. Oh, I only had the one jump there that was terrifying, but we made it through, so that's good. So we're out of bounds now. We jump through this wall here and loop around, and that completes the skip.
Starkiller, I know you want to find Juno, but we need your help. One Jedi could turn the tide of any war.
I'm only here for Juno, General.
Blast it! We need you in the front lines.
The Imperials
That
have
was-
regained control of the security centers. We're going
Now we're just going to be doing a little bit more movement here, trying to avoid getting whacked by enemies. Doing some really scuffed movement here, actually. I'm going to be reloading this checkpoint here because the enemies would not have spawned. Gonna wait for this to load. Once this loads, this guy is spawned. Because we need to do this fight here. Oh, that worked out. And we're just gonna wreck this guy. And then it would be nice to have Force Rage here, but because of the skips and stuff we ended up incorporating, we typically don't get it until we're like halfway through the fight already, but then once we get it, it just speeds up the last little bit of it. Okay. And then now that we've hit that, we're going to upgrade Mind Trick, because that will come in handy for the Vader fight that we've got coming up here in a little bit. But first, we've got some really complicated platforming. This platforming is the area where runs do go to die. So I'm going to be extremely focused here. That was weird. What happened there? I'm pretty sure my momentum like got destroyed by something. And then is this first jump here that is the hardest part of the entire thing. Okay. This jump is super tough. So this will probably be about a mid 109 to a low 110. Oh my gosh. Go. Okay, so now that we've come here, we're gonna go over here. We're gonna go right here.
Someone answer me.
We're gonna jump over here.
We were able to hold them off, barely.
Okay, quiet. Coda, listen. There are thousands of
Oh.
he's cloning an army.
Triple / combo to go up here.
They're strong in the force.
Oh! Wait, no, we don't need to reload. We don't need to reload. We're fine.
Cloned an army.
That's impossible. We're on our way.
At... Go. Okay, that's weird. I never understand what triggers that door to shut.
What is he planning?
Other than getting hit, but
Nothing if we have any say about
I don't know.
I wonder if he's here somewhere.
Who?
The original Star Killer.
We don't know what you're looking at yet. I told you, no one can clone a Jedi.
I hope you're right.
We're just gonna be... Wow, okay.
Don't you leave us here.
I can't wait any longer, General.
Listen to me. You can't do this alone, and we can't take this facility without you. We can do this together.
There's no time. I'm sorry, but you know that I have to.
That was some scuffed platforming. Alright, so now all we have left is the Vader fight. Well, yeah, we're in the last... This is considered the last level, but it's literally all just one massive boss fight, basically. We're going to be starting off by going and... Oh, man. Oh, yeah. Tired.
Don't go in there alone. The Dark Lord is waiting for you.
She's close, General. I am not stopping.
We're losing your signal, Star Killer. Just stop.
I'm done arguing, General. I have to do this. Juno! Juno!
Yeah, we just start off here with these quick time events. With Vader. Because normally there would be cutscenes, but we cut them out, so you just get to see Starkiller with a really bad headache.
Juno!
Who are you?
Juno, it's me!
You're a monster. A thing.
Juno, please!
You're Vader's puppet. Just a body filled with the memories of a dead man.
Speak! What have you done to her? Why have you taken her? It's me, you coward!
Ugh. So yeah, so this segment I call Zambies, because we have these Starkiller clones that are zombies. They're like half completed, so they're more of just like forced zombies. They're really annoying enemies, if I'm being totally honest.
Now you will surrender,
Um,
or you will die here where you were created.
and yeah, so we're just gonna be starting off here, doing our wonderful 3-strike lightning combo until Vader is gonna activate these tubes. Vader's going to jump up there once we beat the tar out of him for a little bit. Gonna do that, which is gonna activate a checkpoint, and then allow us to switch costumes for the last time, and put us right here, skipping this really long cutscene. And then Vader's gonna try and throw the little clone pods at us, but we're gonna catch them and throw them back at him. Sometimes the game can just decide to make us miss them, but
I will always be your master, and you will always be a slave.
oh, that was one. Okay, so we've hit that damage threshold. We're gonna wait for him to activate the pods again. Okay, and then now that we have the zombies, we're going to be mind tricking them to distract Vader. And that will then set us up to force this down, to do all the damage that we need to force this down and activate this again. Normally, that would be another spot where you need to throw pods, but you can literally just jump up there, which triggers the advanced sequence. Again, another instance where the game's like, you need to be throwing where you need to be throwing pods at Vader. But then we're just like, nah. So here, we're now... oh, that's what just happened there. Okay. Fine, that happens. Yeah, we're also not going to be like trying to damage him constantly, because if we keep damaging him the entire time, there's a chance we could go into a quick time event and those lose a lot of time. And so we actually want to be avoiding those quick time events. Ow. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh, okay! We almost got chucked off the edge there. But yeah, the zombies are the worst. That was close. And there, see, their idea was damaging him too much because I got antsy and wanted to. I was feeling like I could gold this, and then I got antsy and got a quick time event, so that really sucks.
I've defeated you before. I will do it again.
You see, normally, if we wouldn't have done that, we would have been able to advance that phase a lot faster. Oh, I didn't Lightning first. Please. Guys. Oh jeez. Ah! Oh, that was close.
I will break you.
So yeah, this will be a high 110. Because now all we have to do is just get to the other side here, and that ends that. Now we've got a really long cutscene here before we go into the last segment of the run. And the last part of the fight is we're going to be in constant force rage, and at this point we're going to want QuickTime events, and I'll explain more about how that works as we get closer. But for now, if this were a marathon, this would be a wonderful time to read a lot of donations.
Where is she? Juno.
Bow before me, or she dies.
Wait, wait! I will do your bidding.
Just let her go.
Find and kill General Kota. If you refuse, the woman dies. You will return to me and give yourself to the dark side. If you resist, she dies. And when your training is complete, you will hunt down and execute the rebel leaders. If you fail, she dies.
Alright, so what we're going to be doing here is we're going to be... Wow, I have never gotten a QuickTime event that fast. That's actually bad.
Means nothing.
Unless it... I don't know if it'll actually work out for me. We'll find out.
Her death gives you strength. Embrace it.
I will tell you!
If you wish to join the
We'll see what it does.
so be it.
I don't think I'm... Okay, yeah, that sucks. Okay, so what we're going to be doing here is getting blasted by lightning, apparently. Trying to push Vader
Rise above this.
back towards these pillars. And try and force a QuickTime event. But Vader's not cooperating.
You want to know
There we go.
where you came from. She loved a dead man. She would have never loved you.
You will die where you stand!
And by doing the QuickTime event up on the pole, we do a lot of damage to him. And so we're going to hopefully do one more, and that will end the fight.
She is holding you back.
Go! And that will end the Darth Vader fight. And then we've got one more QuickTime event to do. Oh, I'm pushing all of the wrong buttons. And then this is a quick time event where we actually have to hold the right trigger. And then the best part about this quick time event is look at this. I don't need to push anything, even though the game's like, hey, mash Y. We're like, nah.
You've taken everything from me!
Your feelings for her are not real.
They are real to me! Wait! You want him dead as much as I do?
Yes, but not yet. Not until
So, yeah, time will be coming, because the reason why we haven't called time yet is because we still have to make one more input in the game.
rebel base where we can interrogate.
So yeah, time will be coming up here in a little bit. Oh, it's going to be a low 111. Rip. Oh, well.
And then we'll execute him to show the galaxy that we don't need to fear him any longer.
If I let him live, he'll hunt me forever.
He is the only one who knows.
Still, a low 111 is pretty good for a marathon load this time. Yeah, we're going to mash here and time.
The red sun rises. Blood has been spilled this night.
But that is Star Wars The Force Unleashed 2 with commentary. Overall, a really, really, really good run. Like, yeah, we had some cheese in there, but cheese does happen sometimes. The cheese happened actually primarily in the late game. So I'm like, okay with that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this run. Wow, that was a sub 120 RTA. That is impressive. Hope you guys enjoyed the run, and I would love to see this in a marathon sometime. Well, I'm running it in Stack Up to Speed, but I'd love to see it in others. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed, and have a beautiful life.